Today we're gonna talk about on how we can be successful in life, and I'm gonna take us through a few successful points which we can use so that all of us we can push and bull together so that we can use this changing we apply these changing tips that can help us to be successful in life. Today I want to be so fast and brief. Point number one, we are not supposed to be afraid of failure. We are not supposed to be afraid of failure. That's point number one. All of us, we have gone through rejection. We have tried many attempts, we fail. We have tried everything. You get that we have betrayals all over. We have attempted everything, and you get that at the end of the day, we fail. But we are not supposed to fear failure, because that is a lesson. When we fail, we learn, because next time you know that this thing you failed is not supposed to be done this way. I would like to use one example of Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison is a United States entrepreneur. He was born in 1847. This guy was a businessman, and he failed to come up with a light bulb more than 100 times. But when he was asked a question, how do you feel about you failing several attempts to come up with a light bulb? What he ended up saying, he said, I never failed. I learned more than 100 times on how not to make a light bulb. You see, a perfect response. I love it. Meaning we don't fail. We learn on how something is not supposed to be done. Point number two, we are supposed to surround ourselves with successful people. What do I mean on this point? If you surround yourself with successful people, with people who are above you, with people who motivate you, with people who challenge you, with people who you tell them, oh, this weekend we're gonna go and have a cup of coffee in a certain bar, it tells you, no, let us go outside your country. Let's take a case, for example, you are at Nairobi, you are at Mombasa. When you tell your friend, let us go to the beach, it tells you, no, let us go to South Africa. That's the kind of friends you should have in you, the kinds of friends who challenge you, who motivate you, who push you, so that next time you fight to be on their level, you get that they are in a different level. That one makes you to bull even those people who are watching at you, to pull them from down so that they can be in your level. That one will make us to be successful. Point number three, we have what we call adapt and expand. In the current situation we are, the economy, you can say that the environment is overwhelmingly changing, and if we can be in the same pace, doing things in the same pace, we cannot win. We can be in fact, we can be irrelevant. We can't be on the same race with the way the current generation is going. Things are changing rapidly, meaning we should change on the way we do our things. There's a guy who is called this guy is called Mark Edison. What does Mark Edison say? Mark Edison, he said, before I go to Mark Edison, we have Said Frank. Said Frank says that if in his book, the book is called The book is called The Money Search Meaning. The Money Search Meaning. He has quoted that any person can be used to anything, and don't ask how. What does it mean? We should run to expand and adapt. But next, we have the point of number next is we should learn on how to do like no one other. Yani, you do things like no one else does things. You do things on your own way. This is a good point. Remember, like we have an author called Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein is an author, is an entrepreneur. On his paper research, this guy died in 1910. In his paper of research that was used to transform modern physics, It was not written in academic setting. It was written in a Swiss office paper. This guy, Albert Einstein, his paper was in a different way. Nobody had already used that setting, but his paper was used to transform modern physics, do things like no one else. Point number next, I can say that the last point, I can say that we should learn on how to, I don't know what time is, but on how to start with quantity and end with quality. We start with quantity and end with quality. What do I mean here? If we start with quantity, I'm going to use 3 examples. If you are doing something, you should start with quantity. Then at the end of the day, you focus on quality. Here, on this point, I want to use 3 people. One person is called Mark Edson. Another person is called, the other 2 people, they are singers, Mozart and Patafan. These people, Mozart and Patafan, they sang 1,200 songs, but at the end of the day, only 40 songs were given an handful recognition out of 1,200 songs, meaning less than 5% of the songs. But at the end of the day, they learned to come up with quality, meaning now after their songs were of quality. They started with quantity, they ended with quality. We have this guy called Pablo Picasso. Pablo Picasso, this is a guy who is known, in fact, they say that is whole time lived painter. This guy came up with 1,000 art designs, but only a few were recognized as masterpieces. He started with quantity, but he ended with quality. I think that is one point which we should mark. And Mark Edison says that plant a lot, harvest few. Those are people who are successful in life. Those are people we should learn as an examples. Meaning, if we're gonna go through the stated points I've told you about, number 1, I told you about not to be afraid of failure. Number 2, I told you the people you associate with. Number 4, I told you on how to expand and adapt. Number next, I told you on how to do things like no one else. You do things on your own. Then I told you lastly that you start with quantity, then you finish with quality. This one gonna help us to be successful in life. If we follow the above steps, I think we must make a positive impact in our lives. That is the first thing. We have to set goals. After setting our goals, then we go by training our brain. After training our brain, then from there we are well to go with the other points. Thank you for watching. Next video, I'll ask you to be with us. Thank you. Bye bye.